My name's Sylvester. I'm a college student. I've been dealing with bipolar for about 3 years now, and I've been in and out of treatment. I've relapsed a couple times in terms of having episodes, but I've kind of gotten my life on track. I've gotten the right treatment, and I'm feeling pretty good. I was a scholarship athlete. I was in a fraternity in college. I was getting good grades. I was on the honor roll, and I just, it seemed like I had it all. It felt like I had everything going for myself, but just inside, there was so much turmoil, and there was so much angst, and so much, I don't know, mood swings, ups and downs. And even though it seemed like I had it all, inside I had really nothing. I used drugs and alcohol to cope with kind of the whole disorder, the ups and downs, the mood swings. And I ended up overdosing a few times. It really took me to dark places. Later, I found out that I was self-medicating, so they say. But it was tough on my body, tough on my mind. I was definitely unhealthy, very unhealthy. I found that I was fighting myself and not the disease. I wasn't accepting the fact that I even had the disease. I was foregoing treatment. I wasn't taking my medications as prescribed. I was still judging others, even though I had received the news that I was bipolar. I didn't believe it, and I kind of carried on with the same kind of behaviors that I did before I knew I had the disease. Ironically, before I knew that I had bipolar, a mental ailment, I was the typical guy that kind of bashed people with mental illness. I considered it to be a kind of a character defect or a weakness. So it was difficult for me to get treatment, and even still today, I'm still overcoming not only the external, other people's kind of stigma that they put on others, including myself, but dealing with my own judgment, kind of judging myself and turning that old view of mental illness inward. It was kind of enough was enough kind of type deal. It was just, I was trying to do things my own way, and I was trying to kind of push people away that were trying to help me. That ended up being what I was doing. And it just wasn't working. I kept relapsing. I kept ending up in the hospital, in and out of treatment centers. And I finally kind of gave in and decided to fight against the disease instead of fighting the ones that were trying to help me. And if I could go back and seek help and accept the help that people were offering me, I would have saved myself a good amount of anguish. So I would say definitely, if you're going through something, reach out to a counselor. If you go to college, there's counselors on campus, there's hotlines, there's websites, certain kind of websites that you can reach out. And even friends if you feel bold enough, but I would definitely get on top of it when you can. The status quo for guys, as far back as we can find, being a warrior, being tough, being solid, not showing emotion. Things are definitely different nowadays, though. But we're kind of in a transitional phase, I feel like, with more groups like this group here, and other various types of counseling and treatment and therapy and stuff like that. There's more of a move to kind of being honest, being open, and not having that be a weakness. Um, but we're still kind of hanging on to the old ways of being closed off. With organizations like Bring Change to Mind, I think that we're really moving towards a more progressive way of thinking for guys and the whole macho stigma. I've become more accepting and moving into a place where I've become more proud. And being in the community now, the mental awareness community, I've met a lot of people that are very talented and successful, some famous, and it kind of brings about a sense of belonging and pride maybe to be a part of this, and it's been great to be a part of this movement.
So as parents, we raise our kids and, hope for the best for them. We, want them to get a good education. We hope that they don't get into trouble. We hope they don't get into addiction issues. And the farthest thing from our minds is that they may have a mental illness or a mental disorder. And when that diagnosis came up for us, I think it was a hard thing to hear. It was scary, and there was a lot of stigma and fear attached to it. But I also have to say that this journey together, at a certain point when it was feeling really out of control, that the diagnosis ended up being a savior, because it gave us a roadmap. It gave us a way to understand what was going on and what were the things that we could do to start healing and just supporting Sylvester and putting his life back together. My enthusiasm of wanting to be a part of this and get the message out is really to end the stigma, because until we end the stigma, the education won't get out. And I wish that I had the knowledge that I have now, raising Sylvester when he was, preteen and a teenager. There were some signs along the way that, teachers sort of suspected that maybe he had ADD or something like that. And I think if the education is out there for families, then they can start learning about maybe what the warning signs might be, when something comes up, how to recognize it, and then where to go to get help. We were really lost in, we were just lost in like a black hole of not knowing what to do, and really not knowing what it was, because it showed itself as addiction at first. And until he got the right diagnosis, that just made all the difference. We're really excited to work with Bring Change to Mind to help erase stigma and raise mental health awareness.
And if we can change one person's life and have them not have to go through what I went through, I'd say that would be a success.